Hello grade 12s, welcome back to another video. So in today's video we'll be doing business studies, a common test for March 2023 together. This test is 100 marks and you write it for 1.5 hours. So it's from the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Department. So it was downloaded from the Stanmore Physics website. You go on Google, type physical sciences grade 12 past question papers, and it's probably the first or the second website that will pop up on your screen. Okay, so you can just download. There are a lot of past question papers there. So without wasting any more of your time, guys, let's get into this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends, your cousins, anyone who's matric with you, whom you know that will find this video helpful. Please share with them and like the video. It helps to grow the channel, and the YouTube algorithm will recommend this video to a whole lot of people who need it like you do. I have a whole playlist on all the topics that were dealt with in first term. Link to those videos will be in the description box down below, so check that out. I have covered all of them, all the acts. I have covered them one by one. If you didn't understand from your class teachers, you get a chance to redeem yourself by watching these videos and giving yourself a second chance, okay, at passing. So it's very important that you read business studies to understand. Read it to understand, and trust me, you will pass it very, very well. It's so easy to obtain a level 6, a level 7. Just have to study to understand. Now, this video is for me to help you understand clearly how to answer questions. So in the first page is the cover page, and then page 2 we have instructions and information. So it's very important for you guys to read your instructions and informations, because there may be something pertaining to questions that you missed in instructions and information, and that will make your whole question wrong. So read the following instructions carefully before answering questions. And then the first instruction or information is this question paper consists of 3 sections. Question A, which is compulsory, meaning you answer all the questions in question A, okay? And then question B consists of 3 questions, but you only answer 2 of these 3 questions. So go through the questions, check what you know in each question, mark it, and then do a consolidation to see which question you know the most and answer that. Question 1 will be based on one topic, question 2 will be based on one topic, and then the question 3 another topic, and then there is a miscellaneous question where it's a combination of questions of maybe business environments and acts. So just check which one you know the best, okay? If you don't know one section, like business operations, do not choose questions that only consist of business operations. Yes. So for questions C consists of 2 essay questions. Answer one of the 2 questions in the section. Go through of what is required of you. If you're asked to write about the Skills Development Act, go in detail and see what is required, okay? So one will consist of an act and the other will be business operations, maybe creative thinking or human resources. So try to go through them and see what you know best. But I have a whole link to the videos if you did not get a chance to understand better in class. I've got you. And then number 2 says read the instructions for each questions carefully and take particular note of what is required, okay? Take particular note of what is required in each question. Note that only the first 2 questions answered in question B and the first question answered in C will be marked. Don't try to be smart here and say you're answering everything and the teacher will just no. They will just mark the first 2. So choose wisely. Study, study, study is very important. Number 3, number the answers correctly according to the numbering system used in the question paper. No marks will be awarded for answers that are numbered incorrectly. So if you chose in section B, if you chose question 2 and 4, name them accordingly, okay? Just because you didn't take 3, do not name question 4 as question 3. Just because you feel like there should be a certain flow that the questions are going in according in ascending order or whatever. Don't. If you answered question 1, which is compulsory, question 2, question 4, and question 6, name them exactly like that. Okay. 4, except where other instructions are given, answers must be in full sentences. Now, guys, if they say explain what in 6 marks, you are expected to give 3 points. Full sentences, each sentence gets you 2 marks. If it's 1 mark, obviously you're just going to name, okay, label. So you're not going to be explaining. Answer questions to its full marks. Please, if you want to pass business studies, you must be ready to explain, okay? Explanation upon description, please. Number 5, use the mark allocation and nature of each question to determine the length and depth of an answer. Okay? Give reasons why it's important for businesses to comply with the Skills Development Act, and it says 6 marks. You're asked to give detailed reasons, full sentences. So which means you need 3 full sentences to acquire the full 6 marks. Don't downplay yourself, okay? So for 6 marks, 3 full sentences, 2 marks each sentence. Thank you. Number 6, use the table below as a guide for marks and time allocation when answering each question. So you can go into the test room or exam room with a wrist watch, and then you can be able to see how much time have you allocated to each question so that you can finish your question paper in time. There is a problem of students also not finishing the business studies question paper because they are long. Honey, don't spend time on something you do not know. If you don't know an answer to a question, skip it. Go to something that you know, because you're wasting your time and you could have collected a whole lot of marks, but you are busy crucifying yourself for a question that you did know very well that you did not study. You didn't study the question, so keep going to the next one, okay? You don't have to do that to yourself, because you can actually pass if you answered other questions and leave those ones that you know that you do not know. So please, I am begging you, don't do yourself so much don't do yourself that dirty that you focus on a question you don't know and you're busy scratching your head. How? You don't know the answer. Skip it and go to something that you know. And with business studies, you don't have to write anything from the book. If you understand something, you can try to write it in your own words and you will get an answer. There's always any other relevant answer. Okay? So don't beat yourself up. If you understand what they mean when they say what is creative thinking, and you can think what is creative thinking, write it down, okay? And you had forgotten the original one that you had been cramming the whole week, just write it. So with business studies, don't beat yourself up. They want to know actually if you understand, so paraphrasing is allowed. So number 7, begin the answer to each question on a new page, which means every question should be on its own page. You may use a non-programmable calculator if there are any calculations, but I doubt there is. Write neatly and legibly. So here we have question 1, which is compulsory, okay? So what we are going to do is that on our left-hand side, the screen will change. We will have the question paper, and then on our right-hand side, we will have the memo, okay? So as we go, we will have the question and the memo so that we can finish this video quickly and show you how to answer. So this video is specifically to show you guys how to answer questions. how to answer questions the way they are required. So that's why I will have the memo, the marking guideline on the right on the same screen. So yeah, let's start. All right. One thing you should remember is that in section A, there is only one answer. So you cannot have two. Okay? Only one answer for section A. So I want it to make it the questions a bit bigger. Yes. So various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. Choose the answer and write only the letter A to D next to the question number 1.1.1 to 1.1.5 in the answer book. 1.1.1 says, this act set minimum requirements standard for employment contract. Employment contract. Set minimum requirements, standards, minimum requirements or standard for employment contract. Employment contract. Minimum standards. Well, that is the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. What are the minimum requirements that should be in an employment contract? It's the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. So it makes sure that the conditions in the workplace are conducive. Okay, so think about it. The purpose of an interview is to interview, outline the responsibilities of the job, invite possible candidates to apply for the vacant post, make employee feel comfortable, evaluate the skills and personal characteristics of the applicant. So it's D, is to evaluate the skills and personal characteristics of the applicant. That is the purpose of an interview, is getting to know somebody, not just telling them about their responsibility, because they've not even yet gotten the job. Okay. And then 1.3, Smith Limited always acts in a way that is consistent with what society and individuals think are good values. This is known as doing what is right, is being ethical. Okay, so the answer to this is C. The role of SETAs is to contribute 1% of their income. No. Eliminate discrimination in the workplace. No. Train employees. They do not train employees. They oversee training in different sectors of the South African economy. So 1.5 say, BQ Boutique used as a suitable source to conduct internal recruitments. What are internal recruitments? It's recruiting within a business. So you look for anything that can be used to recruit people in the business who are already working there. Maybe we want a new position for a senior position as a promotion. So that is a notice board. A newspaper can be accessed by anybody. National radio can be accessed by anybody. Recruitment agencies can be accessed by anybody. But a business notice board can only be accessed by people within the business. So think about a question before you choose, guys. Think about it. Very, very important. Your marks relies on it. Okay? Think about it. So 1.2, you choose a description from column B that matches a term in column A. Write down the correct alphabet only next to the question number in the answer book. So we're having descriptions in question B, which describes something. Okay, it's what describes something, and then we're gonna match this description with a word. All right. So we have overtime, force-field analysis, problem solving, national skills development strategy, and pension fund. So let's go to overtime. Let's look for a description in column B that matches overtime. A, choosing the force with the lowest source as a solution. No. Compulsory benefit offered by businesses to its employee. No, it's not a compulsory benefit. Overtime is not a benefit. Promote social development and helps alleviate poverty. No. Workers cannot work more than 10 hours overtime per week. It's stated there, overtime. So we will tick it and let's go to the others. The fringe benefit offered by businesses to its employee. It's not overtime. Various alternatives are considered before deciding on the best one. No. Summary of factors supporting and opposing a business solution. No. Improves social development through economic development. No. Workers cannot work more than 15 hours overtime per week. Yes, we can also highlight that. Number J, alternative solutions are generated and critically evaluated. So if you can check, number H and number D, number I and number D are similar. Workers cannot work more than 10 hours overtime per week. That is D. And then I, workers cannot work more than 15 hours overtime per week. So when you have two answers which are the same, you choose the first one. Okay? Don't choose I. You have two things that are the same and can be a solution to a problem. Choose number one. Don't choose the second one. You'll get it wrong. So D is the answer. And then 1.2.2 is force field analysis. Number one, choose the force with the lowest score as a solution. No. Compulsory benefit offered by employee of its business. No. As I have went through them, you would be able to know that summary of factors supporting and opposing business solutions. Yes, so you will know that G is 1.2.2. So 1.2.3 is problem solving, and then for problem solving is going to be alternative solutions are generated and critically evaluated. Yeah, that is number J, that is problem solving. And then the national skills development strategy, that is H, improve social development through economic development. And then pension fund is E, the fringe benefit offered by businesses to its employee. So do you see that B is compulsory benefit, but pension fund is a fringe benefit, not just any benefit. Okay? Yeah. So let's go to section B. Answer any two questions from their scenario. Clearly indicate the question number of each question that you choose, and then you answer each question. So here we are in question 2. So here the examination guideline under section B says mark first 2 questions only. Clearly indicate the question number of each question you choose. All right. So question 2.1 says, name any 2 pillars of broad-based economic empowerment. So 2 pillars of broad-based black economic empowerment. Yeah, black is missing. It has to be triple BEE. Management control, ownership, you see, skills development, enterprise and supplier development, social responsibility, and socioeconomic development. So here we have the 5 pillars. You will only be required to give 2, and you have 2 marks for that. So they're going to mark 1 mark for each pillar. 2.2 says states how SETAs funded. So funding of SETAs. How are SETAs funded? So you have to explain how SETAs are funded. Okay? You can give 2 questions. You can give not 2 questions. 2 sentences, full sentences, you get your 4 marks. Okay? The first one, explanation is skills development levies are paid by employers to SARS as a collecting agency for the government. 2 marks for that 1 sentence. And then the second one says employers who have a salary bill that exceeds 500,000 per annum should pay 1% of their annual salaries as a levy. With just these 2 sentences, your 4 marks are given. So this is how you answer. And then number 3, again, you can say the different SETAs receive 80% of the levy for organizational expenses and the remaining 20% is paid to the National Skills Fund. Or you can say donations, grants received from the public, businesses, CSI programs. That's how they are funded. Or surplus funds from government institution. There is your 2 marks. Or funds received from rendering their service, or any other relevant answer. So which means they are going to accept a whole lot of responses on how SETAs are funded, as long as what you have said is within context and it's the truth. You are going to get your marks. I hope we understand each other. So read the following scenario. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Barrett Manufacturers. Barrett Manufacturers, which is abbreviated as BM, formed a bargaining council for collective bargaining purposes. Okay, employees are allowed to join a trade union of choice. Salaries of trade union representatives are deducted for taking reasonable time off to attend trade union duties. So the trade union representatives referred the salary deduction matter to CCMA to be resolved. So the workers of BM recently engaged in an unprotected strike. BM dismissed employees who recently engaged in an unprotected strike. So quote the rights of employers and employees as stipulated in the Labor Relations Act. Here you are quoting the rights of employers and employees as stipulated in the Labor Relations Act from the scenario above. So you know them, but you are going to choose from the scenario. Barrett Manufacturers formed a bargaining council for collective bargaining purposes. That is the right of employer. And they were also dismissed people who engaged in an unprotected strike. It's their right. If you are working for me and you go in an unprotected strike, I have the right as your employer to fire you. And then rights of employees, from the scenario, employees are allowed to join trade union of choice. That is a right. And then number 2, the trade union representatives referred the salary deduction matter to CCMA to be resolved. Okay, yeah. So salaries of trade union representative were deducted for taking reasonable time off. They cannot deduct the trade union representatives' salaries for taking off time to attend to a trade union because they have a right to a trade union. So know that. That is 2.3.1. Now 2.3.2 says discuss the negative impact of Labor Relations Act. So what is the negative impact of Labor Relations Act on BM? What is the disadvantage of Labor Relations Act? Employers may not get court interdict to stop a strike. Reduced global competitiveness due to lower productivity. Cost of labor increase because of legal strikes. So you know what is Labor Relations Act, right? How does Labor Relations Act affect businesses negatively? But in this instant, you will point it to BM. How does the Labor Relations Act affect this business negatively? That's how you answer this question. That's why at the bottom they say any other relevant answer related to the negative impact of the Labor Relations Act on businesses. You know what the Labor Relations Act is, right? So how does it impact businesses negatively? When employees have a right to strike, that can mean the business productivity has to be delayed while they strike. That is how, and the Labor Relations protects them. So that is another a way of answering this question. Let's go to 2.4. Suggest ways in which businesses can comply with the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act. 2.4 says, Compliance. I've made a full video playlist on this. I will just link it in the description box down below. Click the more button and you will find all these links in order for you to learn this. So, suggest ways in which businesses can comply. How can they be compliant? Businesses should provide a health and a safe working environment, ensure that the premises require machinery in good working conditions. Remember, I told you, if something is 6 marks and you are asked to discuss one sentence, one full sentence gives you 2 marks. So, meaning you need 3 for 6 marks, you need 2 for 4 marks. That is the end of the question. Now we will look at question 3. Did you see question 2 was business environments? Business environments only covers acts. So you only ask about acts. And acts are very easy, guys. Just make sure you know all your acts. Very easy. Now we're coming to business operations. So on business operations, we have creative thinking and human resource. And strategies. Yes, we also have strategies for business operations. So those are the questions, 3 topics that are gonna be used to formulate these questions in business operations. So state any 4 reasons for the termination of an employment contract. Why can an employment contract be terminated? Under human resources, if a person is dismissed, if a person is retrenched, if a person retires, if a person resigns, if there's redundancy. When there's redundancy, you just have a lot of employees who are idling. They don't have a job to do because you don't have a lot of work, but you just have them. Now you have to let some of them go. Mutual agreement, the employer and the employee decides, we no longer work together. Let's just part ways. Or duration of an employment contract has expired. It was a 12-month contract and now it has 12 months has passed and now there's no need for the contract to still be in existence. Or incapacity, the person is able to perform or the business is unable to pay. Incapacity can be both ways. So you are asked to state 4. Stating, listing is the same thing. Okay. Outline the legal requirements of an employment contract. Outline, discuss. That's why you need full sentences. Outline, discuss, full sentences. That's where you're going to say outline the legal requirements of an employment contract, which means you just need your 2 sentences full and you have your 4 marks just like that. So the employer and employee must both sign the contract. Easy, 2 marks. Employer and employee must agree to any changes to the contract. Your 2 marks. No party may unilaterally change aspects of the employment contract. Like, guys, please. We cannot be failing this year. Like, we can't. And then 3.3, read the scenario below and it still has any other relevant answer. Any other relevant answer. So anything that you know that is a legal requirement of employment contract. You may not have phrased your answer according to the memo, but the way you have said it, if it makes sense and it's true, you're going to get your answer. Nazarene Legal Services. Nazarene Legal Service conducts an induction program for its new employee. Induction is introducing a new employee to the job. Where they've gotten a job, they went through interviews, and now you are introducing them to the working environment. That is induction. The program includes the tour of the premises and overview of the business. New employees have familiarized with the organizational structure. New employees were familiarized with the organizational structure of the business. Quote 2 aspects of induction from the scenario below. Induction, tour of the premises, and overview of the business. Those are 2 aspects. Those are aspects of induction. So you only asked for 2, 1 mark each. They say 2, so which means it was 1 mark each. Discuss the benefits. 3.3.2 says discuss the benefits of Nazarene Legal Services. So their benefits is increased quality of performance and productivity, allow new employees to settle in quickly and work effortlessly. So these are the benefits of induction to the business. How does the business benefit from inducting employees, introducing them? Is increased quality and performance because they know what is in the business, okay? Allows new employees to settle in quickly and work effectively because they know they have been inducted. Ensure that new employees understand rules and restrictions in the business. Employees will be familiar with organizational structure, who are in superior, lower management. Make new employees feel at ease in the workplace, which reduces anxiety and insecurity and fear. Do you see how you answer these questions? That's how you do it, guys. It's very easy. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. So here we have evaluate impact of Fringe benefit on business. When they say positive impact, you do the advantages. If they say negative impact is the disadvantages. But if they say evaluate impact of Fringe benefit of the business, you can either choose to do positive impact or negative impact. They have not restricted you to either negative or positive impact. So here we have impact of Fringe benefits on businesses, the positive, the advantages. They improve productivity, restricting in high profitability. Fringe benefits are added benefits apart from their salaries. So how to give him, you can answer it in a way that how does giving benefits to employees benefit the business? Obviously, they will love their work. They will perform well. Those are the positive advantages. The negative advantage is that the business has to go through a lot of admin, accounting for all of that. The business has to spend a lot of money. Like, that's how you can answer it. Business who cannot afford Fringe benefit fail to attract skilled workers again. It can create conflict, lead to corruption if allocated unfairly. Fringe benefits are additional costs that may result in cash flow problems. You see? So that is how it affects the business negatively. So it's 4 marks. You know the drill. 2 full sentences, your 4 marks is awarded. So these are the positive advantages. Pause the video, write them down. And these are the negative ones. So we will go to question 4. Miscellaneous topics meaning is a combination of business environments and business operations in miscellaneous topics. So business operations, name 2 salary determinations method businesses can use to pay employees. How can you decide to pay them? The time related, you pay them according to the time work. The piecemeal, according to product manufactured. Now 1 mark for each, it equals to 2 marks. I have to show the marks. 4.2 says, read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Nebo Digital identified vacancies in the business. Job analysis was prepared and vacancies were advertised in the local newspaper. ND ensured that employees' rights are not violated. Identify the human resource activity applicable to Nebo Digital. So which human resource activity? You know what human resources does, right? So it's recruitment. When they're looking for new people, they are recruiting. Okay, it's recruitment. That is there to recruit reputable skilled workers. 4.2.2 says discuss the selection procedure that ND should follow when filing the vacancy. We know it's filing a vacancy. So selection process is determine fair assessment criteria on which selection will be based. Applicants must submit the application forms, curriculum vitae, and certified copies of personal documents, IDs, proof of qualification, ECT. Sort the received documents according to the assessment selection criteria. Screen, determine which application. So here you have to discuss the selection process. It's 6 marks. So you can give 3 full sentences and you are done. And then for option 2, there you are given receive documents, evaluate CV, you can give it 111, and create a short list, check information in the CVs and contact reference, conduct preliminary shifting interview. So here you're asking selection process when you are selecting an employee that can work for the business, which steps to follow. Okay, so we are having 3 these questions were for business operations. We're having 2 questions for business roles. Outline any 2 problem solving steps. So any 2 problem solving steps, we have about at least 7 or what. Identify the problem, define the problem. You see, it's 2 mark each. Outline any 2 problem solving steps. So each step, you just say identify the problem, define the problem is 2 marks, identify the problem is 2 marks, develop an action plan, just writing that is 2 marks. So you know that step, just say 2. They don't have to be in any particular order, just 2 steps, you get your 4 marks. Yeah, I hope you are just getting what I'm trying to say, guys. Like, I just hope you get it. Analyze the impact of brainstorming techniques in solving complex business problems. So here you analyze the impact of brainstorming in solving complex business problems. So there's a positive. Whenever you see impact, just check whether they want a positive or a negative, or you can just go with the flow. Do whatever you know. Impact, if they did not specify if it's negative or positive, you can either choose to write a negative or a positive impact. But if they have specifically stated that a negative impact, you focus on negative impact with a disadvantage. If they say positive impact, you focus on advantages, which are a positive impact. So people get ideas. A positive one is that of brainstorming, is that people get ideas from others and build on them. It stimulates creative thinking in the work process. Better solutions are developed. When you say, just say better solutions are developed, is 1 mark. You have to say better solutions are developed through collective contribution. That is how you structure your full mark. Or say people get ideas from others. That is not a full sentence. It's 1 mark. It's 1 point. But when you say and build on them, you see, I've completed this sentence and that gives me my full 2 marks. Think like that. So you have to analyze the impact. You need only 3 full sentences or 6 half sentences. Then if you can't do full sentences, just do 6 half sentences and you are good to go. Now we go into section C. You can read for yourself, guys. Question C, we have the SE type question. Now we are on section C. Answer any 1 question from the section. Clearly indicate the question number of the question chosen. The answer must start on a new page, question 5 on a new page, or question 6 on a new page, whichever one you choose to answer. So, you see, you will get a essay question from business environment and business roles or business operations. So that is how you will get. So just know any of the acts can be a essay question. Any of the business roles or operations between human resources, creative thinking, and strategies, between those 3, we can also have an essay question. So here it says, the Employment Equity Act 1998, Act 55 of 1998 was introduced to promote equity in the workplace. Equity is fairness, okay? Equal opportunities are given to everyone regardless of race, gender, disability, etc. Businesses not complying with Employment Equity Act requirements could face penalties. That is what they have given you. So from what they have given you from that box, what you do already in your introduction is state the reason why Employment Equity Act was introduced, or what is Employment Equity Act, why it was introduced, or what is it? You give 2 sentences full in your introduction. Look at this. The Employment Equity Act was introduced to reduce the employment imbalance of the past. The aim of this act is to ensure that transformation takes place in the workplace. You are done. Full marks, 2 marks. Done, done, done. You have stated why it was started and what is it, or what it aims to achieve. Employment, or you can start saying employment policies and procedures must align with the requirements of Employment Equity Act. And then you say non-compliance with the act may result in businesses being punished by law, or any other relevant introduction relative to the purpose of Employment Equity Act or its impact. You see, in the introduction, when you're dealing with acts, you do the purpose of the act or the impact, just one line. Or penalties for non-compliance, or ways to comply. You see, so you can't fail, guys. It's either you write, you quote one thing from the purpose of the act, one thing from the impact of the act, or one thing from the ways to comply with the act, or one thing from the penalties of non-compliant, and you have your introduction. 2 marks. You have not done anything. Write an essay on the Employment Equity Act in which you include the following aspects. Now, this is the body. In the body, you are going to say the purpose of Employment Equity Act. You are going to write the purpose of Employment Equity Act. Write the purposes of Employment Equity Act. Why was Employment Equity Act started? It advocates that employees do not work for same or equal value must be paid, or employees who work or do the work of same value must be paid equally. It eliminates discrimination on grounds of gender, race, disability in the workplace. So you can do 5 full sentences to outline the purpose of Employment Equity Act. And then number 2 says, explain the impact of Employment Equity Act on businesses. You can choose whether to do positive impact or negative impact because it was not stated. Okay? Yeah. And then when you're doing negative, know them all, just state them. When you're doing positive impact, do them. So in the subheading, you're going to say negative impact of Employment Equity Act on businesses, or positive impact of Employment Equity Act on businesses. And then number 3, it says discuss ways in which the business could comply with Employment Equity Act. You will have a heading, ways in which a business can comply with Employment Equity Act. That is your heading. And then you write them down. Businesses must guard against discriminatory appointments, promote equal opportunities. Here you are writing everything that you regard as being a fair treatment in the workplace. It's equity. That's how people, they must exercise fairness so that they can be Employment Equity compliant. Number 4, penalties for non-compliance. You write all the penalties that you know for non-compliant. So what I would advise you to do is that try at least to give 6 to 7 sentences. Like, try to find 7 to 6 reasons for each topic so that you can get your full marks. Because it's 36, the body is 36 marks. So if you are given 4 things like that, try by all means at least, okay, to get like 10 marks each. Others will be less because it's 40. But try to give at least 7 reasons so that you get your full 36 marks. And then you only have 2. These 2, you should get it. You don't have a choice. For the body and 2 for the conclusion. You need those 4 marks. You don't have a choice. After this video, I'm not taking any excuses. And you should not even give yourself an excuse as well. Please like the video if you have enjoyed it so far. Enjoy it. Comment. Leave a comment on how this video has helped you. Okay, leave a comment. I would like to be reading your thoughts on this. And then number 6 is conclusion. Business can access the skills and expand expertise of previously disadvantaged individuals. So here, after all that you have written, what is your conclusion? That is, what do you conclude? What is now effect? That's how you write your conclusion. What is effect? So anything that is your fact, that is true, you'll be given a mark for it. So just one sentence gives you 2 marks. It's a fact now. This person says, businesses can access the skills and expertise of previously disadvantaged individuals. That is their own fact. Number 2, the Employment Equity Act does not only promote equity, but also give guidance to fair appointments and processes. That is a fact. Businesses should take necessary steps to promote equal employment opportunities as a means to comply with this act. Fact. So you get marks for facts here. You state your fact, and that is your 2 marks. That's why I say you cannot afford by no means to fail. So you're gonna be for introduction, body, and conclusion. You're gonna get 32 marks for that, and then you're gonna get 2 marks for layout, 2 marks for analysis and interpretation, 2 marks for synthesis, 2 marks for originality. In your essay, try to give examples to show that you understand. Give examples. Give flesh to the meat, guys. Give some examples. So that gives you 2 marks. SA must be your own and original. So for business roles, which is the last one, guys, please subscribe, comment, like the video at least. Businesses are expected to conduct their operations in an ethical and professional manner, guided by the King Code principle of good corporate governance. Tax evasion and sexual harassment may pose challenges to businesses. Businesses should therefore develop strategies to deal with these practices to remain competitive and sustainable. Write an essay on the Employment Equity Act in which you include the following aspects. So here we're talking about businesses are expected to conduct their operations in an ethical and professional manner. So from that box, you know what you're explaining. Talk about ethics, behavior. Think about the King Code. Talk about being unethical. Okay, talk about business strategies that are suitable to deal with challenges challenges posed by these types of unethical and unprofessional behavior. So from that box, that's where you take your introduction. Do not go into the body, look into the body. It's none of your business at this point. So in the memo, they said many businesses have their own code of conduct and code of ethics and a commitment to ethical and professional behavior. So we're talking about professional behavior and King Codes. The business code principles for good corporate governance serve as a guide to ethical and professional business practice. So just like here in the top, they say Employment Equity Act was introduced to promote. So they're talking about the promotion of Employment Equity Act. So that's how you based your introduction. And then here in question 6, they're talking about businesses are expected to conduct their operations in an ethical and professional manner. So you talk about anything ethics and unprofessional and code of and King Codes, full 2 marks. And then for the body, now you asked, outline ways in which professional, responsible, ethical, and effective business process should be conducted. You outline ways in which professional, responsible, ethical, and effective business practices should be conducted. Business decision and action must be clear, transparent to all stakeholders. So this is ways in which responsible, professional, responsible, and ethical and effective business practice should be conducted. So here it's essentially an Employment Equity Act essay. You write an essay on Employment Equity Act in which you include the following aspects. So here you are not yet asked to talk about the Employment Equity Act. You are just, this is an Employment Equity Act SA, but you're asked to outline. You talk about the things that you're asked to outline. So that is what you're going to focus on. The business should hire, host trustworthy accountants. So how can a business practice professional and responsible ethical behavior? They hire trustworthy accountants. The decisions that are taken by the business stakeholders should be transparent. Businesses should be accountable. That is being ethical, right? That is being professional. So anything with regards to that, you can read, you old. And then explain how businesses can comply transparency and accountability as King Code principle for good corporate governance. That's what you write about. Transparency. The King Codes talk about transparency, talks about accountability, talks about so you can choose the two. I have a whole video outlining all of the subtopics and the King Codes, but here they have chosen two. You can choose you can talk about transparency, or you can talk about accountability. It doesn't mean you can include them both. You can just choose one or choose two. Okay, explain how businesses can comply. Oh, they have stated, sorry about that. Explain how businesses can comply transparency and accountability as King Code's principle for good corporate governance. So this is how they can apply transparency in the first paragraph. This is how they can apply transparency in the second one. And then, number 3, discuss how tax evasion and sexual harassment pose challenges to businesses. You stick to that. Tax evasion causes problems to businesses in this way. Sexual harassment causes problems to businesses in this way. So tax evasion and sexual harassment can never pose a positive impact on a business. Okay, they're both crimes. And then we have recommend strategies to deal with the unethical and unprofessional business practices discussed above. How can you deal? How can you recommend strategies on how to deal with unethical and unprofessional business practices discussed above? We talked about sexual harassment and tax evasion. How can we deal with that? So VAT needs to be charged on VAT-abled items. So this is how strategies to deal with tax evasion and sexual harassment. How to deal with tax evasion and how to deal with sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is when someone is sexually harassing a person in the workplace. Okay, if somebody is giving you certain looks that you're not comfortable with, touching you in a certain way, giving you certain attention that you do not want or makes you feel uncomfortable, that is sexual harassment. For your conclusion as well, its effect. Businesses should continuously adhere to professional, ethical, and effective business practice. It is a fact. Application of King Code's principle for good corporate governance help to create an ethical culture in the business. That is also a fact. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's meet on the next video where we do economics. Okay, economics. So let's meet on the next video. I'll be doing economics. So turn on your bell notification so that you can get notified when the economics video drops. Next week, though, it will drop the following week. So watch out for that. Or it can drop the same week. Yeah. I will just check how many videos that I have posted this week. If there is a slot for it, it will be this week. If not, next week, because I'm posting almost every day because it's the test season and I don't want you guys to be left behind. So if you're doing business, if you're doing physical sciences or maths in grade 12, look out for a video. I'm going to be also I want to try to create a video for accounting as well. So just to check that out. Check that out. Thank you guys. Until the next one.